Good morning, Major League Trading members. It is 8 a.m. Central Time, November 26, 2018, and this is a reminder to follow your rules and trade your plan. I hope everybody had a fantastic Thanksgiving. Welcome back. I was traveling Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so I didn't do any trading. But we're going to review the markets here this morning, economic reports, trend biases of the prior day, week, etc. And take a look at where we currently stand. Alrighty. For our trend biases of the prior day, we had bearish all four indexes, ES, Nasdaq, Dow, and Russell. And on the overnight session, we are bullish all four indexes. Actually a pretty sweeping move to the upside. On the shorter term time frame, we remain bearish. On the midterm time frame, we remain bearish. And the longer term time frame, we do remain bearish. The only thing that's bullish so far has been the overnight session. Before the bell at 8:30 a.m., Chicago Fed National Activity Index, and at 9 a.m., ECB President Draghi to speak in Bank of England Governor Carney. After the bell at 9:30, the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Business Index. At 11:30, we're going to have the 3-month as well as the 6-month bill auctions. 1 p.m. 2-year note auction. For our previous day's summary in the S&P 500, take a look at it right here. We had the bell-to-bell high at 26.47.5. We're clear above that. The bell-to-bell low, 26.30. Settlement was 26.29 near the lower end of the range. Value area high 26.42.5 with value area low down at 26.32.5. Point of control coming in at 26.42.5 as well. European closed 26.44. Volume was 649,000 contracts, so super light volume. Overnight high right now 26.66, overnight low 26.31.5. For our floor trader pivot point support and resistance levels, R4A is already traded here. Obviously these are going to be off, or it's one of those days because you had a very low volume session. These are really tight relative to the previous ranges, but R4A we've already hit in the overnight session, which is extremely rare. R4B 26.76 quarter. R3 here is 26.58.75. R2 coming in at 26.53 quarter with R1 at 26.41. Pivot point 26.35.75. S1 26.23.75. S2 26.18. 26.18 quarter. S3 is 26.06 quarter, and S4A is 25.94.5. All right, for our 10-day range analysis, bringing it back here, the previous day had a 17.5 point range. The median was 40. Session was 21.5. Median's been 54. Overnight 20 versus 29, 13.5. So once again, obviously we had a very low volume, small range day. All of the indexes did close lower. The best performer was the Russell over the previous 5-day period, guys. The best performer is the Russell, and over a 10-day period, the best performer is the Russell, and in fact, even over a 15-day and 20-day period. That's surprisingly, because the Russell is leading. The Russell was basically led us lower, but now it's the first market to actually have strength here. So let's take a look at these support and resistance levels. I'll show you guys what I am anticipating here. It's on my other screen. Come on, resize. Coming off a 27-inch monitor to my laptop. Here we are. Alrighty. This is what we're looking at here. We will start with the S&P 500. It is Monday morning. I did do a video last night. Saw a lot of people were able to make that Sunday night video, so maybe I'll do that more often, or at least when I have time at the desk, I'll always give you guys a notice when I'm doing those. But I want to talk about a couple of setups that completed the short side last week. So the high of the 8th of November to low completed its negative 23% profit target at 26.36. Now that was the low here on Tuesday, and you can see we really didn't spend a whole lot of time below that low. I mean, Friday did close below that level, but we got bid out of that. So with that completion, we want to be aware of what would be that next move if it trades, and that would just be the high of Friday, November 16th to this most recent low. And ideally, that would be a setup that we could see this week. So that high to low. Now, there is, and I'm going to get rid of the draw just because to me it's a little bit of noise right now and it's not coming into play. The full halfway back short from that same high to low, okay, all the way up here to the 8th or 7th, that high to low that's 27.22. I have that marked up here with this boxed out zone, but I'm going to take the draw off just because I don't like having too many draws on the screen. It kind of just makes it noisy. Now, one of the things we also had last week, and this was a sequence that led us lower on Monday, this 27.29 quarter low to low sequence traded on Monday, same anchor new low traded on Tuesday, but from that point on Tuesday we never completed the profit target, and that same anchor new low is what has had our offer here at the 38% retracement. So we have been sold off that extension at 26,000 or 2,600, 2665.75. If we break above 2665 here today, guys, my anticipation would be no resistance to 2678. So there's roughly a 13-point potential move here, and I'm just going to mark this up like this. 13 points that I see us kind of being in the clear to the upside. This is just a clear zone, so I'm just going to mark that up if we can break out of that high. Now, overnight session has been bullish in the index, in the S&P. So we want to go back and observe like how this trade. I actually hit a pretty good trade in the overnight session. I was able to get long. I think I got long at 30. I think it was 36 or 37.5, and I sold one tick from the high. So I'm feeling pretty good going into the morning. But we opened up, got an immediate bid, and then the low of Sunday night too high. Low of Sunday night too high was our first pullback. That pullback completely blew negative 23 and negative 61.8% profit targets. So that high to high is the extension I'm looking for this morning. Okay, that high to high is the extension I am looking for this morning. And that has a 50% retracement at 26.54 quarter and a 38% retracement at 26.57. Okay. Also, one thing, because that move was pretty significant, I'm just marking up here. There's a leg start right on this zone that we broke out of, and that was actually the previous resistance. So the low of Friday too high is at 26.46, and that lines up with my leg start here. Okay, so 26.46 is a potential support level. We do have a bullish trend from the overnight session. So it's not like we're, if you got long in here, you were anticipating a break of the previous day's highs. But once we've broken those previous day's highs, there is confirmation that buyers are at least home. Buyers are home overnight. We're up 30 points here, which is a pretty big gap. 30-point gap is pretty big. So I'd look at 26.54 in the quarter. In the morning, if we're really aggressive, we'll hold 57s. And then a potential move to the top side would be 26.78. 26.78. We could easily go through that. We've had multiple 60, 70-point days here. So For gold, we've traded a first test already of the halfway back long from Friday's low to high. I'm not interested in a second test, so this is observation for me. Upside targets are 12.30 half, and that lines up with the prior high, so I would imagine we get some rejection up there. Otherwise, the only thing I'm really interested in a second test of longs is all the way back to the bottom of the range near 12.21. For the Russell, let's remember here, guys, the Russell is leading our way to the upside. It is the strongest market. The Russell has broken above last week's resistance levels. In fact, we're holding above them here. The Russell had a sloppy 50% retracement long, meaning it broke at 1.8 on both Thursday and Friday. However, I would be aware of where that is, especially really there's this negative 61.8% profit target. Now, 1526 is a very important resistance level for me in the Russell for the week. It's a major resistance level. That is from the 8th of November to low. Okay, that's where that comes in from, and I'm going to, make sure you have an alert set there. Then we also have what would be the negative 61.8% profit target of the current long sequence, as well as just, prior highs, just general resistance here. All right, moving on then to the Dow. The Dow is holding its current short sequence. The low of Thursday to low, so it's Thursday the 15th of November to low. Thursday the 15th of November to low. 24,515 is at 50% retracement. Okay, I'm going to say that the Dow will still be bearish unless we break that 61.8. We are obviously still in a bear trend on the higher time frame. The resistance level I really want to watch here in the Dow is this full halfway back short from the 16th of November to low. That level is 24,876, and I have my alert set right there. Okay, you want to have an alert there. For the NASDAQ performed similar to the Russell. The S&P and the Dow made that new low on Friday. The NASDAQ and the Russell did not. Those are the weaker markets. So when we're starting to see the weaker markets not make new lows, we're probably getting to the point that we're running out of sellers. We don't have as many sellers as we've had. The most bearish markets should make new lows. If they don't, then that tells you that we're running out of sellers. So where could we have sellers above? Because we are still in a downtrend, and I want to emphasize that. The halfway back from the 7th of November to low is this first level I'm watching, major level. I'm going to actually bring this over a few days. And that is 68.40. 68.40, you should have an alert set there. Now, the overnight or the low on Tuesday too high. What I would look for if we break up through the 61.8, it'll be the low of the week to high. What I want to do for confirmation of longs here for the NASDAQ, I don't want to be eager. I'm not looking to eagerly buy or go long the NASDAQ. We are at a resistance level. We've peaked above, and we can easily crash down below. But if we make a new high here through 66.80 area, I will then take the low of the week, so from the Sunday night open, and then look for that pullback. So it's an if-then statement. If this happens, then I will look to buy the pullback. All right, and then for oil, The halfway back short from Wednesday's high of last week to low is 53.01. The 50% retracement long from the lows of 2016 is right at 51.48. So that's just a higher time frame level we're going to want to be aware of. 51.48 is the halfway back. It's from basically the bear market low in oil to high. So on these big of levels, it usually takes a while to kind of ride up, especially if there's no reaction on first test. So it's just something I'm aware of and not necessarily something that I'm, see as a solid support level. You just want to observe it. So going into the morning here, we've made a really good run in the overnight sessions. I do think these indexes need a little bit of a pullback here, but anytime you go into a holiday weekend and there's going to be a lot of price discovery going on here because we had two very, very light volume days. We've already traded to R4 in the S&P 500, and that typically means like the top side of the range for the day. So I'm going to be in most likely observation mode here this morning. Like I said, I hit a pretty good trade in the overnight session, ran it all the way up. But right now I want to wait and either have these bigger resistance levels trade or else break through the current highs and then get a pullback, or if we start selling off, participate in that short trend. So there's a number of things that could happen here today, and I want to see what the market is telling me about what the intraday buyers and sellers want to do, because we got a fresh new week coming. How many more? Let's see, it's going to be last week of the month here, so then we're going into December, guys. But everyone have a fantastic day. I'll catch you guys for the MLT Morning Power